Hey guys, welcome back to PristineZReads. Today we're going to be reviewing Exile, Keeper of the Lost Cities number 2. So this time it's just me and Hallie in the old, in our last review of the Keeper of the Lost Cities, we had me and all my friends who read Keeper, but this time it's going to be just me and Hallie. So yeah, let's get to it. So this is the super spoiler video. If you would like no spoilers, please check out my no spoiler video. Okay, so first we're going to jump into the summary. So Exile picks up where Keeper of Lost Cities left off. Sophie finally thought she was safe. She was spending more time with her awesome friends, juggling her new sessions at Foxfire, the newest being her linguistics session with Lady Cadence, and boy, it's not easy. Her inflicting session with Counselor Bronte is also in the Silver Tower, where the level 8 elite prodigies at Foxfire stay. Sophie knows she should be privileged to attend her sessions at the Silver Tower, but the grumpy Master Leto, the beacon of the Silver Tower, doesn't seem to like her that much. She's also growing closer to Grady and Adeline, helping them get over their grief over losing Jolie. But it turns out Sophie's far from safe. Her life takes a definite turn when she accidentally stumbles across an alicorn, which is basically a unicorn with wings, as you can see on the cover. But yeah, the elves have only ever found one other alicorn, a male, and have lived in the hopes that they might one day find another. And now Sophie has. Her unique telepathy skills give her the opportunity to communicate with the alicorn, or Silveny, in her mind. And since she's able to do this, she's given the responsibility of taking care of Silveny and getting her ready for her move to the sanctuary, the Elven Animal Haven. But taking care of Silveny proves harder than Sophie thought. Silveny only trusts Sophie and refuses to let anyone else near her except Keefe, who, much to Sophie's annoyance, insists on calling Silveny Glitterbutt because of her shimmer fur, and also the fact that alicorn poop tends to be sparkly. She won't let anybody else get close to her, not even Grady or Adeline, and that's making it hard to rehabilitate her. And that's not the only thing going wrong. People are out to get Silveny, and Sophie's even found threatening messages and proof of people trying to take her, which include Vika and Timken Hex, the parents of Stina Hex, who unfortunately takes pleasure in bullying and tormenting Sophie at Foxfire whenever she has a chance. Fortunately, Alden intervenes and saves Silveny, but nobody else can figure out the mysterious footprints they found near Silveny's enclosure, not even Sandor, Sophie's goblin bodyguard, who claims nothing can fool his senses. But there is proof that this time the ogres might be involved. Trying to focus on finding the Black Swan again, looking for the elusive Mr. Forkle, rehabilitating Silveny, and keeping up with all her sessions at Foxfire, Sophie is thrown off when Alden asks her to come with him to Exile, the notorious, dangerous, multi-special prison full of madness at the center of the earth. He needs Sophie to be his guide, which means that she keeps track of his thoughts in an elf named Fintan's memory break. And when things go drastically wrong, Sophie fears she might be malfunctioning.
Alden asks Sophie to be his guide in Fintan's memory break, and then Fintan, who's pyrokinetic, which is the ability to control fire, and was restricted after Fintan learned how to control Everblaze, the flame that burns everything, and accidentally killed 5 other pyrokinetics, burns him, and sees Prentice in his cell, breaking from the guilt that overwhelmed him. Sophie brings him back, but then later at the Foxfire ceremonies, he says Wiley, Prentice's son, and shatters for good. Sophie finds out her supposedly impenetrable blocking has a few gaps in it, and that interferes with the ability the Black Swan gave her, which is supposedly to heal minds. The Black Swan then gives her a few clues and charms to lead her to the conclusion that they want her to fly across the ocean on Silveny to their hideout. Grady won't let her go alone, but Silveny only trusts Sophie and Keefe, so Keefe becomes Sophie's companion, and then they fly to the Black Swan's ice seas hideout. There are a few dwarf drugs, so they're okay. Oh wait, sorry. There, a dwarf drugs Sophie with a cookie and takes her to Mr. Forkle alone. There, he gives Sophie a dose of Libium, something she's deathly allergic to, in order to reset her telepathy. She survives, and her brain is now impenetrable again. But when Sophie, Keefe, and Silveny are going to leave the cave, the rebels attack Silveny, breaking her right wing. They escape when Sophie finds out that she can teleport as a result of her Alicorn-inspired DNA. And that's why she has brown eyes instead of blue. However, when the council hears about Silveny's wing, they worry it will ruin their plans to present Silveny to the elves at a festival coming up soon, but Sophie assures them she can handle it. When the time comes, Sophie teleports to this festival with Silveny, and they're able to transport her safely to the sanctuary. Sophie also heals Alden, and he's back to normal. However, now Sophie has a burning desire to find the rebels and won't stop until she does. She's ready to fight back, fire with fire.
Awesome, Hallie. So that's pretty much where Exile leads off. And now we're going to do the morals. I'll start us off with worldviews. So Messenger is not a Christian author, but she holds pretty good moral standards. Sophie likes to break the rules a lot, or maybe likes is not the best word. She has a knack for that. She definitely gets in a lot of trouble attending multiple tribunals, or the elven version of court, and other punishments from Grady, such as filing the T-Rex's nails, or the Verminion hamster-like creatures, and safety lectures from Sandor. No other prominent worldviews are featured here. That's it for worldviews. Hallie, you want to take the next one?
Foul language. So, there are mentions of some people saying some words that would get them into a whole lot of trouble, or I swear. But the former never details any specific words, and the latter goes with the meaning of solemn promise.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Hallie. So next up is going to be violence. So there wasn't a whole lot of violence in this book, and we only counted 2 major fight scenes, and there wasn't too much graphic detail or graphic description. One scene where Keefe and Mr. Forkle faced off with the rebels in the Black Swan High Seas hideout after Sophie got her dose of Limbium, and the other when Alden and Sophie performed the healing on Fintan and he burned Alden, which caused him to later have his sanity shattered after he saw Prentice being held in his cell. That's it for violence.
Okay. Now we're on romance. And I think this book still doesn't have as many of the ship moments as later in the rest of the books, but there was still a small element of that. Sophie still has her crush on Fitz, and since Keith's an empath, whenever he spends time with Sophie, he notices whenever her mood makes sudden shifts when she's around Fitz, and loves to tease her mercilessly about the way her emotions shift. It's also pretty obvious it's also pretty obvious if you read the book that Dex definitely has a crush on Sophie. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There's also another thing I'm going to be putting in the description. Just check there. Nothing inappropriate. I'm just not talking about it here.
Awesome. Thanks, Hallie. So, yeah, next up is going to be drugs. There were a few points when Elwyn, the elven doctor guy, had to convince a few people to take sedatives if the situation was getting out of hand or anything like that. Or when the dwarf gave Sophie a drugged cookie. But those are very minor mentions. So that's it for drugs and the entire morals. Next up is going to be my rating recommended age, and then Hallie will give hers. So I'm going to give this one 5 stars. I love this so much, only the second in an awesome series, and like Hallie said in my other video, it only keeps getting better and better as you progress through this series. Although I guess if we were to go with that logic, then we'd have to rate like Legacy 8 stars. But anyways, had the perfect balance of humor. Honestly, this series would be so dry without Keefe. Danger, action, adventure, and super creative world building. I'm going to put the age level at 11 plus because of the complexity, because honestly, sometimes it's hard for even me to keep up with the crazy story, but the content is certainly suitable for 10. I can honestly read the series over and over again and notice new stuff every time. So I highly recommend it to fans of fantasy and action fiction. All right, Hallie, you want to give your rating and thoughts now?
I also rate it 5 out of 5 stars because the detail is just astounding, and the books only get better from and another person. Well, Louisa Pies is going to review. But other than that, all the books are great. I really like how Shannon Messenger just like keeps expanding on the world, and like how she added Silveny into it, and all, like Sophie has like alicorn DNA, and how she even like put it in the first book, like, and how it led up to what she found out. So obviously a few things in this book is going to lead up to the next book. But other than that, it's great. So yeah. Age level 10 plus, because I just like exact numbers, or like I don't know. It just makes sense. There's no top number because like there shouldn't be a limit to like how old you should be to read something. And yeah, that's my rating.
Awesome, Hallie. So thanks so much again for guesting with me on this. I hope you guys all like this video so much. I have links to this book in the description below and lots of other fun stuff, so be sure to check that out. And make sure to like and subscribe, and please leave me a comment about anything you liked or didn't like or whatever. I would love to connect with you. And yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Bye!
Bye.
Adeline closed her eyes and snapped her fingers, and a small plate filled with 4 pink puffy squares appeared in her hand. Sophie jumped back a step. She wasn't sure she'd ever get used to Adeline's ability as a conjurer to pull things out of thin air, as Adeline held out the plate to her.
Wow, that's so cool. I wish I had that ability to just pull things out of thin air and snap, snap, snap my fingers, and it just goes poof, 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 and all the treats I want are there. And my owners will never know that happened until they open the pantry and then they see all the missing treats. But oh well, I just hope I can have that ability one day, or maybe right now. Wait, I can't even snap my fingers. I don't have fingers. I only have paws. Maybe I can snap my nails. I don't know. Maybe.
I made these chocolate cherry custard bursts for you. I guess I should have given them to you earlier. Thank you, Sophie said, filling the silence when Adeline's voice trailed off. She picked up a piece, surprised when it felt smooth like a hard candy. But it was like biting into a sweet, sticky cloud filled with fudgy chocolate cream and cherry goo. She had to slurp so it wouldn't run down her chin. She thought nothing could ever taste better than mallow melt, but now she wasn't so sure.
Don't eat all the delicious custard bursts! Save some for me! I haven't tasted any yet. I wish I could just snap my fingers and it comes right out of your hands and comes right into my hands, so that I can eat all of them. I can just imagine the juice dripping down my chin and looking it up and eating all the goodness that's inside. Oh man, it's just torture hearing about it.
Grating Adeline laughed as she stuffed the rest of it into her mouth, puffing out her cheeks. They were Jolie's favorite too, Adeline whispered. I guess that's why I don't like to make them. But if you like them, I guess I can do it more often. Sophie could have eaten 1,000 of them, and she was sure she'd crave them every day. But she held up the plate to show the 3 she had left. These are enough.
What? 3 is never enough. I could eat 1,000,000 of them. Like, if I ate one every second, it'd take me only a couple days approximately. Like, imagine if I had, like, a giant plate and then piled high to the ceiling with a custard burst, and I'd just go, snap, and one appears in my paw, and I eat. Snap, paw, eat. Snap, paw, eat. Snap, and just repeat the cycle over and over again until there's no more left, and then I snap, and there's another plate piled to the ceiling, and snap, in my paw, eat it, etc.